Welcome to the Agile and Scrum Masterclass, From Beginner to Advanced, 2025 edition. My name is Munir, and I bring more than 15 years of IT experience across multiple roles, from QA functional and automation testing to test manager and project manager. I am a certified Scrum Master, CSM, and PMP certified professional. This course is designed to simplify Agile and Scrum concepts so that professionals from any background can easily understand and apply them. Whether you are a student, QA tester, developer, project manager, or aspiring Scrum Master, you will find this course structured to meet your learning needs. Throughout this program, we will cover Agile values, Scrum roles, events, and artifacts step by step. You will also gain practical exposure to industry-standard tools such as Jira and Trello, supported by real-world case studies and exercises. By the end of the course, you will not only have a deep understanding of Agile and Scrum, but also the skills and confidence to lead projects, deliver business value quickly, and advance your career. So click Enroll now and take the next step in your Agile journey. I will keep on some new and advanced topics related to Agile and Scrum Masterclass. Welcome everyone, my name is Munir. Today we are diving into a journey that has transformed the way organizations deliver projects and achieve results, Agile and Scrum. Let's pause for a moment and think, why do so many projects fail? Studies from Standish Group and PMI show that more than half of projects either overshoot their budgets, miss deadlines, or deliver less value than expected. Why? Because the old traditional methods of managing projects simply don't work well in our modern, fast-changing world. This is where Agile and Scrum come in. They're not just buzzwords, they are proven approaches that can revolutionize the way you work, the way your team collaborates, and the way your organization delivers results. The title of today's session says it all: Unlock Your Potential. This is not just about learning techniques or memorizing frameworks. It's about transforming how you think, how you lead, and how you deliver. Now imagine yourself leading a team. You've been asked to deliver a new product or service in just 3 months. The requirements are unclear, the market is shifting, and the customer isn't even sure what they want yet. Traditional project management would tell you to lock everything into a rigid plan up front. But by the time you finish, the customer's needs have already changed. Sound familiar? This is the exact pain Agile solves. With Agile, you don't wait until the end. You deliver in small steps, you gather feedback, and you adapt. You don't fight change, you embrace it. Scrum in particular gives us a practical way to put Agile into action. It breaks work into short, focused cycles called sprints with constant feedback loops. Instead of guessing what customers need, we show them progress every 2 weeks and adjust. That's the secret to unrivaled project success. And here's the personal impact. Mastering Agile and Scrum makes you a valuable leader. It positions you as someone who doesn't just follow rigid rules, but someone who can guide teams through uncertainty, deliver results faster, and keep customers happy. These are exactly the skills employers are looking for today. So in this session, I invite you to not just learn the theory, but to imagine how these principles will fit into your own career. Whether you're a project manager, a Scrum Master, a developer, or even a business leader, Agile and Scrum can help you unlock new opportunities. Now that we've set the stage with why Agile and Scrum matter, let's dive into the foundation of everything, the Agile mindset. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been on a project where everything was planned in detail at the beginning, but halfway through, everything changed? The customer wanted something different, the market shifted, or maybe technology advanced, and suddenly that perfect plan you created, it was outdated. This happens all the time, and that's why Agile is not just about tools or processes. It's about mindset. It's about how we think and how we respond to change. So what is the Agile mindset? At its heart, it's 3 things: adaptability, the ability to adjust quickly; collaboration, working together across boundaries; customer focus, putting real value at the center. 1. Adaptability. Think about nature. Which species survive? Not the biggest or the strongest, but the ones that adapt. Agile teaches us the same lesson. Instead of clinging to a fixed plan, Agile teams treat change as a normal part of life. They expect it. They prepare for it. Take Netflix as an example. They started with DVD rentals, but as the world shifted, They adapted into streaming and then into producing original content. Each time, they adjusted course instead of sticking to their original business model. That's adaptability, and it's why they're thriving. Now imagine if Netflix had said, "No, we're a DVD rental company. That's our plan. We'll stick with it no matter what." Where would they be today? Probably gone. 2. Collaboration Agile is all about teamwork, not just within a small group, but across departments, roles, and even with the customer. Let me give you a contrast. In traditional project management, departments often work in silos. Business analysts write requirements, developers code, testers test, and managers track everything. Each handoff creates delays and misunderstandings. But in Agile, we bring people together. Developers, testers, designers, business experts, all working side by side. It's like a football team. You can't win with one superstar. Everyone has to play their role, communicate, and adjust in real time. When collaboration is strong, innovation flows. Ideas spark, problems get solved faster, and the team takes pride in the result because they built it together. 3. Customer focus. Finally, the Agile mindset is about customers. Traditional projects often measure success by whether the plan was followed or whether the budget stayed intact. But Agile measures success by one thing. Did we deliver value to the customer? Here's an example. Imagine a company building a mobile app. In a traditional approach, they might spend a year developing it only to find customers don't like half the features. Agile flips that around. Agile teams release a basic version in a few weeks, gather real feedback, and improve. That way, every step of development is guided by what customers actually need. This customer focus not only builds better products, it builds trust. Customers feel heard, they see progress regularly, and they know the team is building something for them, not just following a contract. Interactive reflection. Now I want you to pause and reflect. Think about your last project, whether at work, school, or even a personal project. Did you adapt when things changed, or did you struggle to stick to the original plan? Did your team collaborate openly, or did everyone work in silos? And most importantly, did you focus on what the customer really needed, or just on what was written in the original requirements? Be honest with yourself. That reflection is the first step toward embracing the Agile mindset. Pulling it together. So the Agile mindset is not about following a checklist. It's about embracing change, working together, and focusing on value. It's about thinking differently. And once you adopt this mindset, frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, or SAFe become natural, because they're just tools built to support this way of thinking. Remember, agility is not what you do, it's how you think. In the next slide, we'll see how this mindset evolved into the Scrum framework, giving us a practical structure to live these principles every day. Now that we've explored the Agile mindset, let's look at the Scrum framework, the most popular and widely used way to bring Agile to life. Scrum is not just theory, it's a practical framework that helps teams organize, focus, and deliver. If Agile is the philosophy, Scrum is the playbook. It gives us the roles, the rules, and the rhythm to succeed. Let's break it down step by step. Scrum as a framework, not a process. Scrum is lightweight, simple to understand, but powerful in practice. It doesn't prescribe every detail. Instead, it provides a framework of roles, events, and artifacts that guide how teams work together. Think of Scrum as a sports playbook. It doesn't tell you exactly how to run every move, but it defines the positions, the rules, and the key practices so the team can win the game. The sprint cycle. At the heart of Scrum is the sprint. A sprint is a short, time-boxed cycle, usually 2 to 4 weeks, where the team focuses on delivering something valuable and usable. Instead of waiting months or years, the team delivers in small, frequent increments. Each sprint ends with a potentially shippable product increment, meaning real, working results. Here's the magic. At the end of every sprint, the team and stakeholders review progress, gather feedback, and adjust. It's a constant loop of build, check, improve. The Scrum roles. Scrum defines 3 roles that make the framework work. The product owner. They represent the customer and business needs. Their job is to define the vision, manage the product backlog, and prioritize what's most valuable. Think of them as the voice of the customer. The Scrum Master. They are the coach and servant leader. The Scrum Master removes obstacles, ensures Scrum practices are followed, and supports the team. They are not a boss, but a guide, someone who helps the team perform at its best. The development team. A self-organizing, cross-functional group that does the actual work, designing, building, testing, and delivering the product increment. Unlike traditional teams, Scrum teams don't wait for instructions from above. They decide together how to get the job done. When these three roles collaborate effectively, the Scrum framework creates clarity, accountability, and balance. Scrum events. To keep things structured, Scrum has key events or ceremonies. Sprint planning, the team decides what to work on in the upcoming sprint. Daily Scrum, a short daily meeting to sync up. Sprint review, a showcase of what was built, plus feedback. Retrospective, a reflection session to identify improvements. These events give rhythm to the work, like the heartbeat of Scrum. Why Scrum works? Scrum works because it aligns with human psychology and business reality. Humans work best with focus. Scrum gives focus through time-boxed sprints. Businesses need feedback. Scrum delivers frequent feedback loops. Teams need autonomy. Scrum empowers them with self-organization. That's why Scrum is not just popular in software development, but also in marketing, education, healthcare, and even government projects. Real-world example. Let's take Spotify. They became famous for their Agile model, built largely on Scrum principles. Their teams, called squads, operate like mini startups. Each squad has a product owner, a Scrum Master, and a team of developers. They run sprints, hold retrospectives, and release features continuously. This model allowed Spotify to scale quickly, innovate constantly, and stay ahead in a fast-changing industry. Reflection for you now. Think about your own work. Do you work in short, focused cycles, or do your projects drag on endlessly? Do you have clear roles and responsibilities, or do people step on each other's toes? Do you review progress regularly with stakeholders, or wait until the end? If you answered no to any of these, Scrum can make a massive difference. Pulling it together. So Scrum is the engine of Agile. It provides structure without being rigid, focus without micromanagement, and rhythm without bureaucracy. When combined with the Agile mindset, Scrum helps teams not just survive change, but thrive in it. In our next slide, we'll look at the career impact of mastering Scrum and why these skills are so valuable in today's job market. All right, now that we've seen how Scrum works, let's talk about something very important to each of us personally: the career impact of Agile and Scrum. Why should you invest your time in mastering Agile practices and Scrum frameworks? The short answer: because the world of work is demanding it. High demand across industries. Agile and Scrum aren't limited to IT anymore. In software, they're the standard. In finance, banks use Agile to launch digital platforms faster. In healthcare, Agile helps teams adapt to regulations and patient needs. Even in marketing and HR, Agile has become a way to manage campaigns and talent acquisition. Every industry that deals with uncertainty, customer expectations, and innovation needs Agile thinkers. That means you. Career ladder in Agile. With Agile skills, your career options expand dramatically. You might start as a team member, developer, tester, analyst, or designer. With experience, you can move into Scrum Master, guiding teams and facilitating collaboration. From there, product owner, defining vision, managing backlogs, and representing customer needs. And at the top, Agile coach or transformation leader, driving organizational-wide change. Each step brings not just higher salaries, but greater influence and leadership opportunities, salaries and global opportunities. Here's the reality: Agile roles pay well. Scrum Masters, product owners, and Agile coaches are among the most sought-after roles worldwide. In fact, many surveys rank them in the top 10 best jobs for work-life balance, salary, and growth potential. And because Agile is universal, your skills are globally transferable. Whether you work in India, the US, Europe, or the Middle East, organizations value Agile professionals. Leadership and soft skills beyond technical skills. Agile builds leadership qualities. Servant leadership as a Scrum Master, strategic thinking as a product owner, coaching and facilitation as an Agile coach. These aren't just job skills, they're life skills, the ability to listen, adapt, collaborate, and inspire. Your career, your choice. So I want you to reflect here. Where do you see yourself? Do you want to stay hands-on as part of a self-organizing team? Do you see yourself as a Scrum Master, enabling and guiding others? Or do you aspire to be an Agile coach, transforming organizations at scale? Whatever path you choose, Agile and Scrum give you the foundation to move forward. Pulling it together, Agile isn't just a way of working, it's a career accelerator. It's a ticket to higher salaries, leadership roles, and global opportunities. And most importantly, it makes your work meaningful, because you're not just following orders or pushing paperwork, you're delivering real value, empowering teams, and shaping the future of your organization. In our next slide, we'll look at the journey from waterfall to Agile evolution, so you can fully appreciate why this shift is so powerful. Before Agile, most organizations followed a very different approach, the waterfall model. To truly appreciate Agile, we need to understand what came before and why it wasn't working. What is waterfall? Waterfall is a linear, step-by-step project management method. Imagine building a house. First, you design the blueprint. Then, you pour the foundation. Then, you build walls. Only after all of that, you finally hand over the keys. In project terms, waterfall phases look like this: requirements, design, development, testing, deployment. Each phase must finish before the next one starts. The limitations of waterfall. At first, waterfall looks neat and organized, but in practice, it creates serious problems. Inflexibility. Once you start, it's very hard to go back and change something. Heavy documentation. Teams spend months writing requirements that often become outdated before coding even begins. Late feedback. Customers only see the product at the very end, when it's too late to fix major issues. Mismatch with reality. Markets and customer needs evolve, but waterfall doesn't adapt. This is why so many projects under waterfall ended up late, over budget, or delivering something customers didn't actually want. Why Agile emerged? In the late 1990s and early 2000s, software projects were failing at alarming rates. Teams realized they needed a new approach, something flexible, collaborative, and customer-driven. In 2001, 17 software leaders gathered in Snowbird, Utah, and created the Agile Manifesto. They wanted to shift focus from rigid processes to people, from paperwork to working results, and from plans to adaptability. This gave birth to Agile, and frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, and XP became the vehicles to make it real. The evolutionary shift. Think of this shift like the evolution of communication. Waterfall is like writing letters and waiting weeks for a reply. Agile is like texting or instant messaging, continuous, fast, and adaptable. Organizations that embraced Agile were able to respond to change, deliver value earlier, and satisfy customers better. Real-world examples. Nokia. Stuck in traditional planning, they couldn't adapt quickly to the smartphone revolution. Netflix constantly adapted their product strategy, from DVDs to streaming to original content. ING Bank moved from rigid hierarchies to agile squads, boosting time to market and innovation. These examples show that adopting Agile is not optional anymore. It's survival. Reflection for you now. Think about your workplace. Are projects still planned years in advance with little flexibility? Do customers only see results at the very end? Do teams spend more time on paperwork than on building value? If yes, your organization may still be stuck in a waterfall mindset, and Agile could be the key to transforming results. So, Agile didn't appear out of thin air. It evolved as a direct response to the failures of waterfall. By moving from rigid, linear processes to flexible, iterative approaches, Agile changed the rules of the game. And in the next slides, we'll go deeper into the Agile Manifesto values and principles, the DNA of Agile that guides everything else. We've just seen how Agile emerged as a response to the problems of waterfall. Now let's dive into the Agile Manifesto, the cornerstone of everything we call Agile today. In 2001, a group of 17 software developers met at a ski resort in Snowbird, Utah. They came from different backgrounds, extreme programming, Scrum, DSDM, Crystal, but they shared one frustration: traditional project management was failing. What came out of that meeting was historic. They created the Agile Manifesto, a short but powerful declaration that captured the essence of working in a flexible, adaptive, and human-centered way. The 4 values of the Agile Manifesto. The manifesto is built on 4 key values: individuals, and interactions over processes and tools, because at the end of the day, it's people who deliver value, not fancy tools or rigid rules. Example, a great conversation between developers and business stakeholders can solve in 5 minutes what endless emails and documentation never could. Working software over comprehensive documentation. Documentation is useful, but customers want a working product, not a 500-page manual. Example, imagine ordering a car and receiving the instruction manual a year later, but the car itself isn't ready yet. Agile flips this around. Deliver the car first, then add the manual if needed. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Instead of arguing over what was written in a contract months ago, Agile teams engage customers continuously to refine what's valuable. Example, a startup that pivots based on user feedback is more successful than one that sticks to its original business plan no matter what. Responding to change over following a plan, change isn't an interruption, it's a reality. Agile embraces it. Example, during the pandemic, companies that adapted quickly to remote work survived. Those who clung to rigid office-based plans struggled. Why? These values matter. These values aren't saying the items on the right, tools, documentation, contracts, plans, are useless. They're saying the items on the left are more valuable. Agile is about prioritization, what matters most when time and resources are limited. Real-world applications, Spotify, constantly adapting features based on customer behavior. Amazon, prioritizing working services and quick experiments over lengthy paperwork. NASA JPL used Agile approaches for Mars rover software to adapt quickly to unforeseen challenges. Reflection 4. You think about your own projects. Do you value people's collaboration more than processes? Are you delivering working results early or hiding behind documentation? Do you treat your customer as a partner or as someone to negotiate with? Do you embrace change or resist it? Your honest answers will tell you how agile your mindset truly is. The Agile Manifesto may be just 68 words long, but it reshaped how the world builds products and manages projects. It gave us a new compass. People first, value first, collaboration first, and adaptability first. In the next part, we'll break down the 12 Agile principles that expand on these values and guide day-to-day decisions in Agile teams. Now that we've seen the Agile Manifesto values, let's explore the 12 Agile principles. These principles are like the DNA of Agile, guiding the day-to-day actions of teams and organizations. While the 4 values give us the what and why, the 12 principles give us the how. They explain how Agile teams deliver value, adapt to change, and work together effectively. Let's go through them step by step. 1. Early and continuous delivery of value. Agile teams aim to deliver valuable software early and keep improving it frequently. Example, instead of waiting a year for a product release, Agile teams release updates every few weeks, like mobile app updates. 2. Welcome change, even late in development. Agile treats change as an opportunity, not a threat. Example, if a customer changes requirements halfway, Agile teams adapt rather than resisting. 3. Deliver working software frequently. Short cycles, weeks, not months, help teams learn quickly and reduce risk. Example, think of Netflix updating its platform every few weeks with new features. 4. Collaboration between business and developers. Agile encourages daily collaboration across roles. Example, instead of business gives requirements and walks away, business and developers co-create solutions. 5. Build projects around motivated individuals. Agile believes people are the core of success. Teams should be empowered and trusted. 6. Face-to-face communication. The most effective communication is direct and human. Agile promotes daily conversations, even in distributed teams. Video calls, stand-ups. 7. Working software is the primary measure of progress. Documentation and reports matter, but the true progress is measured by working solutions. 8. Sustainable pace. Agile avoids burnout. Teams should maintain a consistent, realistic pace of delivery. 9. Technical excellence and good design. Agile teams continuously improve their craft, clean code, automation, and refactoring. 10. Simplicity. Maximize the amount of work not done. Agile values focus on essentials. 11. Self-organizing teams. Teams decide how best to achieve goals rather than managers dictating every step. 12. Regular reflection and improvement. At the end of every sprint, Agile teams reflect, retrospective, and improve processes. These 12 principles are not just checkboxes. They are a mindset in action, helping teams adapt, deliver, and grow continuously. As you move forward, remember, every Agile practice, ceremony, or framework ties back to these principles. Next, we'll look at how these principles translate into Scrum roles, events, and artifacts in practice. Now that we understand the Agile Manifesto and principles, let's turn our focus to Scrum roles. These roles are at the heart of Scrum, and each one has a clear responsibility that ensures balance and success. Think of Scrum as a three-legged stool. If any one of the legs is weak or missing, the stool topples. In Scrum, those three legs are Product Owner, Scrum Master, Development Team. Let's explore each one in depth. 1. Product Owner. The visionary. The product owner is like the captain of the ship. They decide the destination, but they don't row the boat themselves. They represent the voice of the customer. They define and prioritize items in the product backlog. They make tough trade-off decisions, what to build now, later, or never. Example, in a mobile app project, the product owner might decide that push notifications are more urgent than fancy animations because they deliver more value to users. Without a clear product owner, teams lose direction and build features that don't align with business needs. Scrum Master, the servant leader. The Scrum Master is not a boss or a project manager. Instead, they are a coach, facilitator, and servant leader. They ensure Scrum practices are followed. They remove obstacles, known as impediments. They help the team work together and improve continuously. Think of them like a gardener. They don't force plants to grow, but they create the conditions, sunlight, water, soil, for growth to happen naturally. Example, if developers are blocked because of unclear requirements, the Scrum Master facilitates conversations with the product owner. If a team is overloaded, the Scrum Master shields them from distractions. Development Team. The builders. The development team is cross-functional, self-organizing, and accountable. They design, code, test, and deliver the product increment. They are empowered to decide how the work gets done. There are no sub-roles like only testers or only coders. Everyone collaborates to deliver value. Example, if the team commits to delivering a login feature in a sprint, they handle all aspects, design, coding, testing, instead of handing off tasks between departments. The balance of roles. These three roles create balance. The product owner maximizes value. The Scrum Master maximizes team effectiveness. The development team maximizes delivery. Together, they ensure the right thing gets built in the right way with the right focus. Ask yourself, do you know who your product owner is? Do they clearly communicate vision and priorities? Does your Scrum Master truly act as a servant leader, or do they act more like a manager? Is your development team empowered to self-organize, or do they depend on approvals for every small decision? Your answers reveal how healthy your Scrum setup really is. Scrum roles are simple in theory, but powerful in practice. Each one is essential. Together, they create alignment, balance, and accountability. In the next slides, we'll look at Scrum events, the heartbeat of Scrum that gives rhythm and focus to these roles. Now that we know who the key Scrum roles are, let's talk about the Scrum events, also called ceremonies. These events are like the heartbeat of Scrum. They bring rhythm, focus, and accountability to the team's work. Without them, Scrum would lose its structure and discipline. Scrum defines 4 main events within each sprint: Sprint Planning Daily Scrum Sprint Review, Sprint Retrospective. Let's dive into each one in detail. Sprint Planning. Setting the direction. Every sprint begins with sprint planning. This is where the product owner, Scrum Master, and development team come together to answer 2 key questions. What can we deliver in this sprint? How will we deliver it? The product owner brings the prioritized backlog. The development team estimates and commits to what they can realistically achieve. Together, they agree on the sprint goal, a shared objective that guides the sprint. Think of it like a team huddle before a game. Everyone aligns on the play, the goal, and the strategy. Daily Scrum, the daily stand-up. Every day, the team meets for 15 minutes. This is not a status report to the manager. Instead, it's the team syncing up. Each person answers 3 simple questions. What did I do yesterday? What will I do today? What blockers do I face? This keeps everyone aligned, surfaces problems early, and maintains focus on the sprint goal. Example: a developer might say, "Yesterday I worked on the login page. Today I'll integrate it with the database, but I'm blocked because I need access to the test server." Instantly, the team can help solve it. Sprint review, show and tell. At the end of the sprint, the team demonstrates what they built to stakeholders. This is not a PowerPoint presentation. It's a live demo of working software. The purpose is feedback. Stakeholders can say, "This looks great, but can we tweak this feature?" Or "We actually don't need that functionality anymore." This ensures the product evolves in line with real customer needs, not assumptions. Sprint retrospective, reflect and improve. Finally, after the sprint review, the team holds a retrospective. This is a safe space for reflection. They ask, what went well? What didn't go well? What can we improve next time? For example, a team might realize that communication was slow on Slack, so they decide to introduce a daily sync-up call. These small, continuous improvements compound over time into massive productivity gains. Why Scrum events matter? Scrum events create rhythm. They prevent chaos. They ensure continuous alignment and improvement. Without them, teams would drift, lose focus, and repeat the same mistakes. With them, Scrum teams become adaptive, transparent, and constantly improving. Think about your current work. Do you start projects with clear goals, or just dive in? Do you check in daily with your team, or do problems go unnoticed until it's too late? Do you review your results with stakeholders, or wait until the end? Do you take time to reflect and improve, or jump straight into the next cycle? If not, Scrum events might be exactly what your team needs. Scrum events are not just meetings. They're powerful touchpoints for alignment, feedback, and growth. Sprint planning gives direction. Daily Scrum keeps focus. Sprint review ensures value. Retrospective drives improvement. Together they create the heartbeat of Scrum. In the next part, we'll explore the Scrum artifacts, the tools that give visibility and transparency into the team's work. We've learned about the Scrum roles and the Scrum events. Now let's complete the picture by looking at Scrum artifacts. Artifacts in Scrum are not physical objects, but tools that give visibility, clarity, and transparency into the work being done. They ensure everyone understands what's being built, how it's progressing, and what's considered complete. Scrum defines 3 core artifacts: product backlog, sprint backlog, increment. Let's break them down one by one. Product backlog, the master to-do list. The product backlog is a prioritized list of everything that could be built in the product. It's owned by the product owner, but anyone can add ideas. It's dynamic. It grows, changes, and evolves with customer feedback and business needs. Example items: add a login feature, improve checkout page speed, enable push notifications. Each item is refined, estimated, and prioritized. Think of the product backlog as the North Star of the product vision. It tells us where we could go, but not everything will make it into the final product. Sprint backlog, the plan for this sprint. From the product backlog, the team selects items to work on during the sprint. These become the sprint backlog. The sprint backlog is the team's commitment, their realistic plan for what will be delivered in the next 2 to 4 weeks. It's created during sprint planning and updated daily as the team makes progress. Imagine the product backlog as the full restaurant menu and the sprint backlog as today's order. You don't cook everything at once. You pick what's most valuable right now. Increment, the result of work. The increment is the actual usable product created during the sprint. It's the sum of all completed backlog items. Key rule: each increment must meet the definition of done. That means no shortcuts, no half-finished features. The increment must be shippable, even if the product owner decides not to release it yet. For example, if the sprint goal was to build a search bar, the increment is a working, tested search bar ready for users, not just mock-ups, not just half-written code. Why artifacts? Matter artifacts create transparency. Everyone can see what's planned, what's being worked on, and what's actually delivered. Without artifacts, Scrum teams would fall into chaos. Stakeholders wouldn't know what's coming next. Developers wouldn't have focus. Progress would be invisible. Artifacts turn Scrum into an open, visible process where nothing is hidden. Think about your projects. Do you have a clear, prioritized backlog? Do you know exactly what your team is working on this sprint? Do you have a shared definition of done for completed work? If not, Scrum artifacts could help bring clarity and alignment. So, Scrum artifacts are the evidence of progress, The product backlog shows possibilities. The sprint backlog shows focus. The increment shows results. In the next section, we'll tie everything together by looking at how roles, events, and artifacts interact to create a powerful cycle of delivery. If you really want to understand Agile and Scrum and grow as an Agile project leader, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this channel. I'll keep posting simple, practical, and clear videos to help you master Agile and Scrum step by step.